Atlanta, Georgia. This is a special edition focusing the Fadiga brothers. That's Hussein Fadiga and his twin brother Hassan Fadiga. Guys, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right. You guys have been in the news lately, and it's been very controversial. So we at Focus on Liberia thought it was that we put you in the spotlight so that we can get to know a little bit more about you and also what all the controversies are about and what you are up to politically, socially, and whatever. So let me start with you, Mr. Hassan Fadiga. I want to say welcome to Focus on Liberia, and it is our pleasure having you. We want you to begin by briefly introducing yourself to our audience.
Well, thanks for having me on your program. It's a humbling experience. My name is Hassan Fadiga. I currently reside in Minnesota, in Brooklyn Park. A little bit background of myself. I work as a law enforcement professional. I also hold a master's in forensic psychology and human services and a bachelor in police science and security management. And I am a Liberian. I was born and raised in Liberia. I came to the U.S. many years ago, and I'm passionate about politics. I'm passionate about saving the state. And as far as where I am politically, I'm not a member of any political party, but I still believe in Liberia, and I still believe that collectively we can stand for truth and fight for the betterment of Liberia. So right now, I consider myself in the middle, and some people might debate that there is no middle ground when it comes to politics. You either on one side or the other side, but I think I've shifted in the middle, and I've decided to pursue a solution-based approach to advocacy, and we'll see how it goes from there. Yeah, I'm married. I have 3 kids, and that's pretty much about me so far.
Thank you so much, Hassan. I go to you. Before I go to you, Fadiga, I want to welcome my audience on Facebook. This is Focus on Liberia, and we are having the Fadiga brothers in the spotlight. Hassan, Hussein, a little bit about yourself.
Well, it's hard to talk about yourself. I'd rather people talk about me, but in short, I'm Hussein Fadiga, the other twin. Education, I have a master's in health and human service administration. I have a bachelor's in IT. I've worked so many places. I work in corporate America. What else do I need to know? I'm a talk show host. I've been doing radio for probably 8 to 9 years. I owned a radio year before we closed down, and then we started to use the Facebook now. What else about me? I have a daughter. I'm not married yet, but I have a daughter. She'll be 11 on the 30th of this month. What else interesting about me? Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm an advocate. I consider the word has been so thrown around so loosely, so I don't even like to use it on myself. I am yeah, I mean, that's the only word out there. I believe nobody should suffer injustice. I believe that Liberia can do better. For someone that has traveled around extensively, I believe that Liberia can do better if we all put Liberia first. So I've taken that approach over the years throughout the Salif administration, now the WIA administration. And politically, I do not have any political affiliation. I've chosen to stay away because when it comes to Liberia, I've come to realize there aren't no good or bad side. They are just opportunities, people just sitting waiting for an opportunity. And the way Liberian politics is that you support it in. You have to. I'm one of those people that believe that you have to choose side. You can't just sit down and remain neutral. Nobody is neutral. Just that some people are afraid of backlash, so they decide to not state public their position when it comes to politics. But I don't think anybody should be neutral. But by the same token, in Liberia, it's very hard to find people with integrity. Sometimes you end up supporting one person only to find out that that person will let you down, and then they blame you. You have to take that collective guilt. So sometimes you have to take extra level of maturity to believe that, yes, I can support this person, but whatever they do it's not on me. I saw certain things in there. I mean, integrity is very rare in life. So you just to find someone with a squeaky clean image that would be compared to the West, it's very difficult. You just have to work with what you have. Well, yeah, but I've come to that point where I believe that, like my brother says, solution-based advocacy. When I have that epiphany and realize that Liberia politics is very complex, and that people really do not want change, they want change. Yeah, so on the political front, I will leave it at that. But as far as that's me. I consider myself a realist. I don't see things for what it could have or should have been for what it should be. Sometimes can be an extremist, but I'm open-minded. I'm level-headed, and for those people that know me as that.
Thank you, Hussein. So to my viewers, I think it was somewhere last year, the two of you, we saw you in Hong Kong. I really, that's my dream country. So I wish I was there. But the two of you were in Hong Kong. You were investigating the Elton loan by the time the new government got in power, and they were kind of trying to find money, sign loans, and you followed that up in Hong Kong. And you, as I said, we said in the flyer, you became the darling of the opposition. We follow your activities, very, very abrasive sometimes, or staunch opposition, or advocate, as you will call it. Then you fell off with the, and you were part of the integral part of the Save the State protest. Later, you fell off with the head or the organizer of the protest, and things kind of went awry between you and the opposition. So since then, I found it interesting to bring the two of you on and just have the spotlight, have the discussion, and we're going to get to the thick political issues. But I want to start with very basic. Let's look at your early life. Who really are the Fadiga brothers? Let's look at your early life. Let me start with you again, Hussein. Discuss your early life, your parenting, where you were born, where you grew up, and stuff like that.
Well, for a lot of people, I was born in Bikeno, Grand Bassa County. I was born in Bikeno at the Lamco Hospital. For some of you from Bikeno will know the hospital. You've seen it look there. I don't know what it is right now, but I was born in the Lamco Hospital. I grew up in Bikeno. My dad is Nabi Moise Fadiga. He's originally from Guinea, but he immigrated to Liberia. They were the first people that fled Guinea a long time. In the 60s, he came naturalized in Liberia, and I think he abandoned that side. And for some people that say Senegal, sometimes we laugh when I hear Senegal. I do not know. The only thing that come close to Senegal is probably the Fadiga name, because it's deeply rooted way up all in those areas, as far as Djibouti and Eritrea, yeah, even Croatia. So yeah. But yeah, my dad is English, is from Guinea, but he came to Liberia early on, naturalized, and he worked for Firestone for almost 30 years. There where he died. He lived, worked in Liberia, and he died in Liberia. My mom is Christina Masha. For most people from Bikeno know my mom. She was very prominent and popular figure in Bikeno. She was the director of nurses for the government hospital for many, many years. And our house was right there up the hill by the government hospital. So everybody knew of in Bikeno. In fact, because she was Masha, people thought we were Masha. And for years, people thought like we were Masha, but we were Fadiga. She had our oldest brothers, and then we were the last for the family. So I grew up in Bikeno, went to school in Bikeno. I graduated from high school, the Christian high school in Bikeno. I lived my elementary, probably my junior high, up to junior high in Firestone. We live in Dusa. My dad was an instructor there, so we live in Firestone and Buchanan, and then after we graduated, moved to Monrovia, and I went to the Liberia College of Technology. At that time, it was on what 14th or 13th Street, I don't know.
14th.
It was owned by 14th Street, right?
Yeah.
14th Street. They used to be owned by this former representative Kel, Representative Kel. So I went to that school. Later on, I transitioned to the Liberia Don Bosco Polytechnic, where I pursued a degree in IT, in architectural engineering. Because my dad was an artist, I thought I would do it. I did it up to junior level, and then we had to flee from Liberia, went to refugee camps, and yeah. Mm-hmm. So basically, that's me. I have a twin brother, of course. Most of the time, we spend most of our time together. So my story is usually the same as his. But yeah, so grew up, Buchanan, Monrovia, Firestone, born, raised in Liberia, never left until the war.
Okay. Hassan, I know it's the same for you, but pick up the pieces where you think you can fill in the gap. And how was it like growing up with somebody who looked exactly like you?
Well, it was an interesting experience where you find people staring at you, and that wow factor, and it can be embarrassing sometimes when you're in that position. But it was fun. We had a happy childhood. We had both our parents around. They were very involved in our early upbringing, and pretty much our childhood compared to other people in Liberia, we're pretty much doing okay prior to the Civil War. And like where he left for during the Civil War, like any other people, we experienced the Civil War. We nearly got killed because of our name, and you all know how the Civil War went. Once you have the Hassan or name, they consider you probably Mandingo, and you have certain name that is closely linked to certain tribe. Yeah, you get killed, but God could have it. We're blessed to survive and went through the war untouched. And pretty much my brother touched on almost everything. The only thing, he pretty much touched on everything about our early childhood. We went to school in Grand Baptist St. Peter, demonstration, and then Christian High, and then we moved to and then we moved to Monrovia and pursue our other education there. So, but my brother pretty much touched on everything. He pretty much.
So growing up, who you used to put rising on people? Who was the troublesome one, the bad twin?
Okay, growing up, it's interesting. Growing up, we're hard-headed. We used to like fighting. You know, growing up, you say karate. So they like comparing us with the Irish kid. We're a little bit bigger than the kid. We're a little than other kids were tall. So we used to like fighting. We used to fight a lot. Fight horseplay a lot.
Fight each other or the other kids?
Fight each other, fight other kids. We fight karate, and you know everything. We try to mimic what we see on the TV. So everything, it was fun. Back, take her back. I'm having an interview.
That's okay. She can be there.
No, she was just there. So my childhood was fun. We share our childhood both in Buchanan and Firestone. So we had two areas that we transitioned, we moved back and forth. So it was Liberia, Buchanan and Firestone.
I was a neighbor to Triplets when we were living in Ghannasville. So this guy, the lady, the first time she gave birth was twins. The next time was triplet, and the husband ran away.
Yeah,
so, I don't blame him.
So she remarried to our neighbor called Bobo San. But then I think they were fire. When you even throw a rock, it would touch fire. He was the bad looking one more. Because they used to misbehave when you go chase them, he will be the one you catch. So which of you were like fire all the time following trouble when you were growing up?
I think I was a troublesome one. I was more hard-headed than Hussein. I used to get in a fight all the time. I always used to fight for him. He was more quiet and soft. And anytime the kids tried to bully or pick on us, I would jump in and start a fight for us. So I was more hard-headed. I think I was more hard-headed than him. Yeah, growing up.
So Hussein, has they continued that way? Are you still quiet and he's kind of covering you up, or?
I think right now growing up, I think we strike a balance. He will stir up the confusion. Most time, I'm one of those people that study things before I jump in there. I'm not too like fast to jump in things. I like to study the thing, but sometimes he can be a reactionary. He will react. But sometimes we strike a balance. Sometimes like
And when you are twins close like that, it's hard to even have friends because the two of you is like always together. Is it the same? Because I find out the same way with my two brothers.
Yeah, pretty much, and that's the funny thing. Over the years, when we started, the one thing I didn't mention, the TMZ, when we started TMZ way back in the days before Facebook even evolved to this something. Most people didn't know. We were among the few people that got Liberian talking on social media when social media was not even that popular or prevalent around Liberia. We're among the few people that started it. When I started the TMZ. TMZ, nobody knew who that person was for many years, who the TMZ person was. It was this anonymous page that was controversial. So, when we started that, one of the things that we started, I thought I would just throw that in a couple of years ago, and gradually people got to know who we were.
All right. And I hope by the end of this show, we'll get to know more of questions started coming already as to which of you did it come a time where your brother got you into trouble?
Oh, yeah. Well, our parents, our mom, let me tell you one of the things our mom used to do. Because she didn't know the difference, my dad barely beat us. He was one of those level-headed, quiet, cool guy. My mom was the hard one that was always flocking us. So my mom would just come and beat both of us. Sometimes she would always beat the wrong.
She used to beat the crap out of us.
Yeah, they didn't spare the wrong.
So if Hassan did something, she doesn't want to battle to know who did it, beat the two of you.
Oh yeah, she would beat both persons. She would spank both of us. Most times she ended up spanking the wrong person.
Yeah, I have my niece twins. So the fun is when they were much younger, I was putting pull-up on them. And what I did, I put two pull-ups on one person. So that joke still hang around me because up to now they are like 16. I still don't know their difference. Yeah, I see a lot of love for you guys out here, but that's to warm up, so that we can get to know you guys a little more. But the fact is, you two have not been short of controversies. Is that a fair statement? In 2014, you wrote a press release refuting allegations that you were supporting President Sirleaf because of job, you were denying jobs, and in fact you were paid $5,000 monthly, and there was an Independence Day riot that should have gone on, and my colleague, the then Finance Minister Americano, gave you $15,000 and all those kind of things. So yeah, talk to me about those allegations, and overall, what is causing these things? People, you find yourself in this kind of area.
I think it's a little bit of both. Sometimes controversy follow us. Sometimes we cause stir controversy. Sometimes controversy follow us. But as far as that 2014 incident, I ran the Radio Africa. Most people didn't know that we own that radio. Yeah, but it was very successful at the time. For me, when I like someone or I believe strongly, I feel strongly about something, I give it my all. It was with the early Johnson Sirleaf administration. When given the state of the time, I studied all sides, the Weir side and the Sirleaf side. I knew at that time that Ellen was the saviest and the best alternative. We gave it our all. We supported Ellen, and you can ask them, they're not in power anymore. It was never because of the finance. And I realized sometimes you got to do things for the finance to private, because then people will stop lying on you. They never got paid by Ellen. I was never on Ellen payroll. But the way we worked for Ellen, the way we coordinated things with the government, it would seem that way. But sometimes the reason is not too good to always put finance before anything is because when people paying you, they control you. When it's about money, then you become a remote control. So the reason we can open our mouth and say things is not that we are wealthy or well-to-do or got everything going on perfect. Sometimes we are ordinary people. Sometimes we got some rough edges. But I believe that if you want to be free, there is no freedom than being able to speak freely and not in somebody's pocket. And most people in Liberia, it's very rare to find that thing in Liberia. So when you're doing that, people always find reason why this person doing things. We are always skeptical of one another in Liberia, which given the society, people would think so. But you ask yourself, it was never a job. I was qualified at that time. You know, I was out of school. I could have gone to Liberia. I recommended so many people in Liberia that went there and got job. I could have gone to Liberia. One of the first person that even begged me to go to Liberia was when I did an interview for him at some hotel here, through Jerome. I did an interview of Cabinet Johnny. He said, "My man, what are you doing here? What are you wasting your time for? You educated, you bright." And I just felt that it was not time. I was not prepared to leave my comfort here to go to Liberia. But I believe that we can still be out here and advocate for Liberia. And that was something that we did without pay. So as far as the 15,000, let me tell you one fun. That protest started right in my studio. The protest started in Radio Africa studio, and I didn't know that. There were so many things about that protest that most people do not know what happened in the back end. It was Kilpatrick Weir, and this, I'm going to put that out there today. I think you know Kilpatrick Weir.
Yeah.
It was dr.nya the guy that had that controversy at the Hussein Bank. You know, dr.nya, the money stuff at the Hussein Bank. It was
Right.
dr.nya Hussein Authority. Not Hussein Bank, Hussein Authority. And then it was Al Jerome. It was who again? Senior Nyangura, a couple of guys. Yeah. I didn't know that they were playing.
I know Nyangura would be part of that.
Senior Nyangura, yeah. and they started Molak right in the studio there. I didn't know Kilpatrick had his office on the other side. And that day I was getting ready to produce issue in the press when we had Jerome. And I just see this flyer, Kilpatrick, you know, your action man. And it started the flyer and something, but I never took it serious. And I didn't know that was the beginning of Molak movement for some corruption. I used to be demonstrating all the time doing Ellen time. So Patrick Sawyer, the late Patrick Sawyer, because he was from Minnesota, the government had dispatched Patrick Sawyer to soften the ground. So when Americano, he didn't know that I owned a radio station at that time. So Americano was in talk with Al Jerome and the Issue in the Press team. Because Issue in the Press was just a show on the radio. We had other shows there. So I'm like, when I got the information through the ORM, and this is something nobody probably know about. This is the first time I'm going to be saying this on air. The ORM, I think I found the letter today. The ORM wrote, because the ORM had invited the Americano to be the guest speaker on that for that July 26th. So ORM to, I think, Kiatama and how they call this man, Erasmus, came to me with a letter one night at my apartment and saying, you know what, the ORM, they're going to cancel Americano appearance on issues in the press because of safety and social thing and people trying to get money from Americano. I'm like, what?
Yeah, Americano.
Americano. So I'm like, this thing can be happening. And then I went to ask those guys. We kind of, I was mad, you know, I was kind of mad when I went there. But there was nothing that, if people got money, it would probably, right. I don't know, probably the protester, but I didn't get no money from Americano. I was not soliciting money. I just say, you know what? This show will go in. Americano, after looking, knowing that Issue in the Press was the most popular show at that time, he said, you know what? I'll go on the radio, even if OLM didn't want it. So it was just a community politics that Americano would come.
OLM is the Organization of Librarians in Minnesota.
Oh yeah, the organization of like community on the other side, they have Moloch and other people, but it was civil. So I don't know what the money went on, but I personally did not benefit with any money. I did not take money from
So Hassan,
the only money, or I take it back. The only money that we received from and audio that they purchased for the recording for the show, which amount to from the tape and videos that we did. That was the only money, a fair amount for what we did compared to the market. And we even gave them a discount at that time. And that was the only money. Mark can bear witness to that. The Siddiqui, I used to be Americano, special assistant can bear witness to that. It was $5,000 that we received for the work that we did and video that we put together. That was and we had a couple of meetings with Americano, and that's all. That was my last interaction with Americano, and that was all I got for the government. For all through the years, we supported that government. Never. I mean, if we had solicited money, I'm sure we would have gotten it. We did a lot of good work for the government. I think we were one of the most powerful instruments for the government online. So and we coordinated it very well. If we wanted to, it was soliciting money, I think we would have gotten it, but never. It was never about the money. It was all about passion and advocacy and knowing for the world that she had an opportunity. And when we saw that she was not performing the task, we went after her. And you see, that's a funny thing about.
We'll get to that. Let me come to Hassan to see why these controversies. What's your idea that is it that you go around looking for trouble? Because the criticism out there is you guys think that you all that, so wherever you go you start trouble. Are you actually starting trouble, or you just plunge yourself into these controversies, or you feel better than people that are there, that you look at yourself as the brightest guy in the room, and that's why these controversies are following you? Your take?
No, it definitely it's not anything like that. Well, I cannot read other people's mind to tell you exactly why other people think the way they do. But I will tell you this about us: if we strongly believe in a cause or strongly believe in something, we're not one of those people that will hold back. Other people hold back, and the difference between us and a lot of people, we sometimes don't tend to do things the Liberian way. And I say the Liberian way is that in Liberia, people tend to shove things under the rock. People tend to keep things and look at the larger, focus on the larger group. For example, if the opposition is the opposition, and you shouldn't criticize the opposition because other people feel that you will be weakening the opposition. So you got to remain mute and keep everything on the road. It happens even in the family. When there's rape, people don't want for you to go to the police or say something because that person is going to be arrested and it's going to affect the family. We see it differently. We believe that if there's a cause and we genuinely believe in something, we should speak on regardless of who is going to get affected or be affected by.
Let me just add up.
Let him finish.
Sorry, my kids were.
That's fine. The kids are part of the show.
So as I was saying, yeah. So as far as controversy is concerned, we speak our end. We're not afraid to go there. There are places that people will try to be politically correct. We don't try to sugarcoat it. We try to go there. And sometimes it may sound like we are trying to be arrogant, but we are not. We are one of the most, in our personal life, we are one of the most homo group of people or young men that you will find. And a lot of people don't know that about us. They think that the personality they see on Facebook is the way in our personality. That's how we act. That's how we behave. Sometimes I can be a little bit rough, but that comes to with the kind of job that I do. You always have that command person. When you're speaking with people, you got to speak with authority to gain compliance in certain situations. So sometimes I can come out being a more forceful, and to other people it may sound like, like a little bit rough, but that's come with the territory too. It comes with the kind of thing we do.
Yeah, let me just buttress what Hassan is saying. Look, Liberia is a very unique country. We are different from other people. And I think it has to do with our upbringing. I grew up in a home that my dad will let you speak up. You do not bend your face down. He will always ask you. We always had conversation, whether it's around dinner time. We always had conversation. So we grew up at being people that were expressive. Even in high school, when we were in high school, things that most of our friends would remain tight lip on, we always ask that question that people would not want to ask. So it's the upbringing, and most Liberians grew up in a passive environment where grown folks just say everything, small children remain quiet, older people are always right, younger children. So we grew up in, it was different with us growing up.
It was totally different, yeah.
I'm at the point that I'm not afraid of nobody. I respect everyone, but if I feel strongly about something, I will say it. I do not just want to be with the popular side. I do not just want to follow popular sentiment. Sometimes I want to think for myself, because you know what experience have taught me? Everybody that people have given their opinion about in my lifetime, when I meet that person one-on-one, I don't know about you, it end up being different. Some people are tend to be situational. They may be evil to one person, but nice to you. Probably the way you interacted with that person, probably the way you dealt with that person. So I like to know situation for myself, study issue for myself, and make an informed decision. So I do not just move for the crowd. And you do not find that a lot in Liberia. A lot of people do not want to sweat. They do not want to do the job. They just want to be part of something. Even if that thing not working, they will not resign. They will never leave. They will just tag along to get along. And that's one of the problems with Liberia. Everybody want to be part of something, even if you're not contributing to it. You just want to be part of the name. You just want to be recognizing something. Sometimes you have to bring something to the table.
All right.
Sometimes you have to bring something to the table, and most time people don't care what they bring to the table or what they can bring something as long as they're on the table. And you find a lot of empty people on the table in Liberia. That's what happens. So when you speak about those things, it come out as arrogant because people don't look. I'll give you an example. Do you know that certain people in Liberia that through all their life, they have never been challenged? They build this personality by themselves that nobody can talk to. You see that other person? And I've seen people celebrate that when you interact with them one-to-one and try to get into the head and understand the intellect. You find out that most of those people are just empty. They just max it based on probably the position that they have had, family, legacy, and they just build these war around themselves. The people don't know them. But for me, nobody is too big that I cannot confront. Not violent way, but that we cannot interact in something. Because Liberia is a hierarchy society. Everybody kind of stay in a lane. So most people tend to move away from those people. They leave them. And most of the people go, even our leaders, a lot of them go unquestioned. A lot of them will say, oh, they are smart. That person this and that. When we go to see it, when push comes to shove, they end up being just as empty as anybody else. So a lot of those people, when you kind of go hard on them or ask them a question, they feel offended because
that's true. I can bear witness. Now, there are questions.
Them before. I want to give an example of somebody, but I won't even say it. A lady that people well respected, doctor. When we question her judgment, people got offended because why would you question this woman? She a doctor. She a brilliant woman. She a this. She respected in the community, so nobody can question. But she's a human. And one thing people need to realize that we are all human. We can all make mistakes. That we should all be willing to. If you can criticize other people, you should also be willing to accept criticism. But when we build these people and put them out, and then they start to have God complex, then it's a problem for our community because they just go unpunished. They go unchecked and nothing happened. And this is where we find ourselves. So most time that's why people just cannot get along, because I don't think it's something different that we're doing or anything abnormal that we are doing. It's just that we have chosen to do it differently, and any Liberian that chose to do it differently, we are seen as weird and arrogant and too much into yourself.
Let's come to some, because there are questions on Facebook and people are willing to. So I just want to read few of the questions since you are. But before I even get to the question, let's go into from the Ellen time now. Then we enter the George Weah presidency, where the two of you, especially you or Hussein, you were very much forceful on your radio station criticizing Weah, and that's how you became so loved in your opposition black. Let me read one thing you wrote on December 31 on your Facebook, exposing fake Messiah.
That's me.
There are few people with exceptional ability to see things from afar. Before we enter the new year, let me caution all Liberians to be mindful of George Weah and his new church. Weah is a dangerous and deceptive mother. He's no damn preacher or man of God. The man is creating a cult following that will divide Liberia further and send us into conflict. Then you quoted the scripture. They are neither, the man is dealing with some demonic power. Great men of God are humble servants. They are neither greedy, corrupt, vindictive, or promiscuous. Do not be deceived, folks. Look below and see the works of this greedy poser. That said, I wish you a happy and prosperous new year. Save the state. And then you have pictures of the houses that he's allegedly building, the plane and stuff like that. So you guys were very tough on Weah. So in so doing, you have invited, a lot of people to put you in the spotlight, to scrutinize you and see what you are up to. Let me first give you the opportunity to defend or recount those statements.
No, I can recount any statement. I think that was written by Hassan. But let me tell you, let me tell you what I believe.
Let Hassan respond to his statement, then you can come in.
As far as my statement is concerned, I don't think there's a need to recant my statement. I stand by my statement, and going forward, someone will ask me, why now? Why is it you have shifted into the middle, and sometimes your post now a coronet a peer leg, you are praising all the government, you are sell all you're a traitor and say things like that. But a lot of people don't understand where we came from before we came to the conclusion. You clearly said it when we went to Hong Kong. You clearly spoke about some of the things we did. Our attack and our criticism of the government is well documented. So everything we said was well thought of, and we spoke it. Now, shifting into the middle, it gives us a clearer picture to see things from both lenses. So we're able to right now find a solution to whatever problem it is we see in Liberia, whether it's corruption, whether it's coming together for a common purpose, whether there's anything to find a solution. When you are in the middle, you're not only focused on CDC, you're also holding the group that you were once a part of, you're also holding them accountable to. Because if we only focus on CDC and we manage to get CDC from power, the group that is coming, that will be coming into power, we're end up fighting there again. So we decided to see it, no. We are going to do it differently. Instead of focusing on one group and attacking one group now, we need to pull all of them together and hold both parties accountable, because both parties want to be leader. Right? The only thing is, one is in the leadership position right now, and the other one is desperately trying to get there. So everybody needs to be held accountable. So that's the only shift in our views, and other people misconstrue it as being a seller or being a traitor to the cause.
Right. And Hussein will come to actually what led to that shift. But before we get there, let me ask you, Hussein, that I watched your talk show. You were very tough, and it was because you were tough, so other people that were tough on the Weah government, you became like partners. I used to watch this, what I call a talk show susu or talk show cool. You go on my talk show, I go on your talk show, and we lambast the Weah guy. in the middle of it, I started seeing some falling off. Walk me through that process of, you know, all those that you associated with. It was all, you know, all two legs bad, all four legs good, until it came you to a point. So walk me through that process before you even get to that point where you have shifted.
Well, one thing, sometimes people don't give us credit, but one thing I know, a lot of those people, it is sincere. For me, we've been doing the thing for a long time. And for a lot of those people that just come into it, I pretty much thought that at that time, it was too, the burden was too much for one person to carry. Because if you notice during the election, there were a few of us doing it. There was me, and there were a few other people that later on started to get in, and I encouraged to use their voices, and I would go on a talk show, I would go on different talk shows to help them come up. But what I realized is that with our Liberian group in politics is that they will make you an extremist. And what they do here is they do not want you to go on the other side. They do not want you to have an open mind. So what they do here is they come up with all these things to grab you. And most time, even though it will seem that we're all working together, most time we disagree. In the back end, I disagree with a lot of things. One, when George Weah became president, even though I was one of the toughest person at that time, going after doing the campaigning for boycott, we were in the war room. They started bringing the resort. I was angry with the way the boycott team was running the campaign. I was angry with some things. I believe that boycott did not fight hard enough. I believe that the campaign was not effective enough, even though they didn't have money, but there are some other things that they could have done and didn't do. And when it came to time now where they were deciding the election was over, they wanted us to do certain things that just went against my value. Like we started posting things that the result were going to overturn and that the Unity Party was winning. When I knew that the numbers did not reflect that, when we are gotten sufficient numbers to say that George Weah was going to be the next president, nobody wanted to acknowledge it. And I was one of the brave first presidents that came out and said, you know what, given everything that I know now, based on what I saw in the war room, that things that people didn't even know outside in the public yet, I said, given what I know now, George Weah will be the next president. There were people still clinging on hope that, yeah, things will overturn, either ECOWAS would come in, something will happen. We were just looking for a miracle. And me being a radio personality, me being someone that giving disseminating information, I believe that I owe it to the public to give them the truth, not to lie to them. At least I better give them the bad news now and then learn to deal with it. And a lot of people still have real high hope. And I came and said, I was angry. I said, I'm sorry.
Hassan, let me interject. Hussein, let me interject before you continue. You broke away from a lot of, because your breakaway from COP was just maybe the last straw, but you were constantly breaking away from other talk show hosts.
No, not really. That certain talk show hosts, I will not disparage, but there are certain people I didn't like the style or doing things, and I will not try not to talk down to them, but I'll go on anyone that I can could get on, but I was not ready in any kind of like something with any of them. But yeah, at that time, there was a guy, he honored the post. I think you were insulting me again. They had a post. It was the same opposition. They had a whole show on me, how I was subtle. My cousin, who husband was a pilot. It was just a bunch of lies. And I'm like, why you guys just come up with a thing? I was here working myself out 24 hours, criticizing the government, having shows back to back. And then when the election result come out, and you say I'm a seller. Sell what out? What are you paying me? You don't pay me. You don't pay for my internet. You don't pay for anything. But well, I didn't bother them. They had two shows on my name. The other talk show hosts, they had two. The Never We Are movement had one. Couple of those female, but that's just stayed true. Over the years, they found out that it was not true, and a lot of them started to listen to me again. But I've been one of the strongest critics of President Weah. But my brother, I come to realize that no one person is the problem. No one person has the answer to Liberia. If they were to flip today, the opposition will still be struggling. And the reason that, look, President Weah, for some of us that criticize this government, we knew what to expect. We're not expecting any miracle to come from this government. But for some of those people that we felt were better or know better or want better for Liberia, they are equally questionable. And for me, I'd rather deal with the devil that I know, who has a better chance of solving the problem than dealing with sophisticated criminals, potential criminals, people that are coming to just do the same or worse. So we've adopted this solution-based. The notion that this government should fail and the president should fail, and it's not the president that failed it, it's Liberia that failed it. And if Liberia run into a failed state again, how can you revive a failed state? Even with the best and brightest, you will struggle for the next 5-6 years before you can even get it back. So why we keep fighting for this country to fail as a means for this person to come to power and keep using the people? So I just realized that, you know what? We are fighting this fight the wrong way. It's about time that Liberians come together because, look, my man, experience is the best teacher. We've been through this thing before. Look at Charles Sitter, look at Doe, look at Ellen, look at the transition government. You will notice that people only talk to get there. How long will we take to understand, will it take Liberians to understand that there are no good and bad side in this thing? You have to really do some soul searching. It happened with Charles Sitter. We think the other person will do it. When it comes, they do worse than the other person. It happened with Doe. It came with Ellen. Ellen received so much money in that country. If Ellen was not mismanaging that money and spending it wastefully, Liberia could have at least been somewhere that this president will be able to prepare it to the next level. Ellen just mismanaged, brought her people, the same people that you see coming around here in the diaspora, that in the opposition now, they came to that country there with the white collars crime. And you know what? The difference between they and this government is that they were not flamboyant. These people are not flashy. These people are people that were eating, but when you come to sit down and fold their hair, act like the poor. They had nothing in Liberia to show. Everything was external. Ellen left from power, it all disappeared. The group that we have there right now, they got no external help. They're all in the country there. So the money that they managed to take here and there, they put everything in the country. So it seems that they're doing more. But the last government did more. And some of those same people that from the last government cannot even criticize things that went on. Look, the one that really get to me, I see people praising Americano now. I see people praising people from the past. It just shows how confused we are. That people have forgotten so quick that Ellen was in power and so many bad things happening in that government. Look, I can tell you about the $4 million they used to demolish the old executive, the old defense ministry there. $4 million. None of you even can remember that. You know, I will tell you about how many times they just Front Page Africa had it. How many times they paid to build that executive mansion on revamp. I can tell you the money from the defense minister Vani Saramaka took for the people the
Toya benefit.
The Toya benefit. I can tell you about the money that they gave for that
private sector development initiative.
The private sector development initiative that they just took and gave it to Mama and Baba Business Center instead of my man. The thing that happened is so much, but the government again, I don't understand.
So it's like cat and dog. All of them can do the same thing, but that dog won't can show.
Yeah, because dog is more frisky. So when I look at the government, I say, well, you don't even know what. But so people acting like Liberia have reached doomsday and everything is black and white. We are reached to the revelation of Liberia where everything Armageddon have come. No, it has not reached to that point yet. So this is where people that have sober mind will take a step back and say, hey, is it worth fighting? That we keep fighting people. We supported Ellen. We fight Ellen. We supported this person. We fight it. We supported. So the problem here is we're fighting the wrong fight.
Right.
Fighting is not the answer.
And we'll come to what we need to fight against. Let me go to Hassan because there was a demonstration in one of the things that there was a demonstration in New York, and you guys were part and parcel of it. In the middle of it,
we organized it.
You broke away again. What's going on that you and these people keep fighting?
Hassan, let me explain that part because I was one of the lead organizers.
Okay. Hassan, you want to say something first?
that the information that is being peddled about that protest that we broke away is erroneous, is misleading, and it's a lie, plenty of lie. But I will give Hussein a chance to address that. But it's not true.
Let me tell you this thing. Let me tell you this whole thing, and this just speaks to why it said that we'll always have problem, and I don't mind having problem as long as I was doing the right thing. The protest, September 18 is when the General Assembly usually convene. They start. That doesn't mean it's the opening. The opening. For us, this was my first protest at the United Nations. So when we look on the calendar, when we look at the 18th of September, it was like, oh yeah, we're going to protest.
And as Hussein, that group is the group that are turned to the Movement for Justice in Liberia.
No, that's not the group. That Movement for Justice, I knew that Movement for Justice with Lovetta Tugwe for a long time. I interviewed Lovetta Tugwe in 2014.
Lovetta Tugwe is not part of that, but go ahead with that protest.
Oh, probably it's a different group. But let me tell you one thing. So we had a meeting. It was all group of people all coming together. It was me, Yesini, it was Vadala Pacho. We all agreed on the 18th. But that 18 came about out of ignorance. We did not know that on the 18th, by the program starting on that day, it means nothing. The real protest day for most countries is when the president is speaking. You understand me? So we didn't know. So when we didn't even know that we needed permit. We started to ask whether we need permit, whether we not need permit. Through our research, I called this one journalist friend of mine. He worked with the New York Times, Johnny Doyle. I called Johnny Doyle. I said, will we need a permit? He said, I think so. He gave me the name of the park. He said, you need a call. So after we had meetings upon meeting, it was close to the time because the whole the entire event was never playing, was last minute time playing. So it was around this time we started playing it. So we never really had enough time to something. So we decided to get permit. It was just about a week or two to the program. We decided to get permit for the 18th. When I called the Vadala Patrick said he had permit.
He had a permit.
Apparently, he didn't have the permit. So what happened was, I called the place that does the licensing for demonstration. When I called, he said, which are you from Liberia? I said, yeah. I said, we want to protest on the 18th. I'm from Liberia and blah, blah, blah. And then the guy said, but there are other Liberians that came here too. He said, are you with Vadala Patrick group? I said, yes, we work together. He said, but I told Vadala Patrick, why are you guys trying to protest on the 18th? The 18th is nothing going to be going on in the park. The 18th is just the day the assembly will be opening, the foreign ministers will get together. But let me look on the calendar to tell you when you should protest if you want to protest. And then he said, it was the 26th. He said, your president, he said, we are the president, right? He said, your president will be speaking on the 26th at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. That is the time you want to protest. So you're not late yet. You can still get it, which was a week later. You say you still have time to get a license. So I said, well, the man told Vadala Patrick, they think, why did Vadala Patrick not tell us? We went in the chat room. I said, Vadala Patrick, you either off to something sinister or something is wrong. But you were told that the 18th was not a good day. Why are you something? There where the Vadala Patrick kicked me from the group. Decided to argue.
Let me interject a little bit. Prior to that, we started the fundraising effort. And when the fundraising effort came, Yesini decided to give. They said that they should give the money through Cash App. And for me, I said in the interest of transparency and accountability, nobody should give the personal account for people to donate to. We should all donate, open a GoFundMe account, and then everything blew off. Yesini got angry, Vandera got angry. This lady is a respected woman. Why are you trying to insult her? And it went on with the usual Liberian way. I said, this thing has nothing to do with respect or not. A Cash App account is your personal account that you use and the money go to your personal bank account. We need to open a GoFundMe account where any amount that is paid, it will show who pay and how much they pay. It has nothing to do with respect or not. That's where everything blew off, and that's where we challenge Vandela Party, we challenge the other group, and they kick us out of the group. And we went and we opened.
Who were these people?
Clarify that.
Who were these people that kick you out? Were they the leaders?
Vandela Party was the one that kicked me out of the group.
Was he the leader of the group?
He created the group. He was the leader.
You said he's the leader, and when your leader speaks, everybody sort of listen, nobody sort of talk. And then I got angry. I said I used some not so kind words to him. I told you when I'm a leader, this was a collective effort, and there's no clear leader yet. So the notion that in Liberia, when the leader speaks, the other people should shut up, it's not going to work here. And we continue to talk, we continue to argue, we continue to something, and that how he kicked me out of the group and kicked other people that were voicing their view contrary to him. My mouth dragged.
So you wanted more transparency, but they wanted you to send the cash up to a personal account.
To the senior account. That's where the problem came from. And they say I was being disrespectful by saying why did you say by questioning why did you send the money? The lady has integrity and she's not going to eat the money. And I was all for transparency and accountability. That's where the problem started from.
Yeah, and then they did. Then they said, oh, you know what? Some people already taking off on a day off from work. They can't change it. I said, let me tell you something. If this is about a protest that want to you resort, if you take off on your work, you can call in and change it. If you buy ticket, we even offer to change some people ticket. I think we changed about 3 or 4 people ticket. We did a GoFundMe and we gave her enough time to prepare fake banner and fake t-shirt. Those guys, I don't understand how Liberia can act. Knowing fully well that on that day, on the 18th, nobody will be in the park. Do you know? Oh, you can protest any day. I mean, they cook it in the head and they believe that kind of nonsense that you can protest any day in America. How many people have the time to protest 2-3 times a day, leave their job? We got one day to get it right. And the day was the 26th, the people told us, not only us, the park told us. If I tell you the arrogance of Liberian people, if I tell you the arrogance about certain people and why nothing gets done in Liberia, sometimes you just want to cry. These people, against all odds, they insisted on going on the 18th. My brother, let me tell you what happened. They ended up being the only people in the park shouting. If you watch the video, the only people in and they feel good about it, they feel proud that they made a spectacle and fool out of themselves, but nobody will question it. Nobody will say anything. They went in the park, my brother. If you look at the day, if you look at the video, the rain beat them in the park. They were only Liberians in that park at that day. Nobody was there. They went there, did a few good movements. Then came on the 26th, the other group came there. So when they say, oh, we come on the 26th, we have peace. But then did not come up. Yesini show up, other people show up. You know what happened on the 26th? The government had already bussed in two buses of people to come. Besides that, there was, how do you call it here? So many, thousands of other people in the park at that time. So even if there were not many, there were thousands of other people. We had the Burundi group. We had one other group called Cambodia group. I mean, there were just so many people, thousands of people in the park at that day, because it was actually the day that people were protesting and people. So how can you be ignorant and arrogant at the same time? You know fully well the people advise you against all or to not go on the park on the 18th. They want to talk about all that city. How am I supposed to be a sound, educated person? We go against what the park people tell us, go against everything that makes sense, only because I want to please one group of people. I say, you know what, we'll go to the park on the 18th. Then on the 26th, where the government supposed to be protesting and bringing other people, then nobody go there. How? And these are people that are supposed to be community leader, and they still use that against us and want to attack us. How? It makes any sense. That's the narrative they've been carrying around. Oh, you can work with people. How am I supposed to work with you on something that dumb? You were the only people in the park. You and the people that because of personal thing. Look, people, our ego get easily bruised, and these are people that spend all the time attacking other people, and your ego get easily bruised when someone just tell you the truth. For one, hey, do it the right way.
There are people in line to join the discussion. We're going to go to the COP issue and what happened. But let me tell our audience that you are watching Focus on Liberia. We are discussing or having a spotlight on the Fadiga brothers, political twins, controversial. They are not far from it. There are questions on Facebook. First, there's a comment. Emmerich Benson Nicole said, it is a black lie. More people show up on the 18th than the 26th. Kennedy said, I'm trying to look for his comment again. I read it earlier. He said, it is good that R has come to realize if this administration falls, we all as Liberians fall. So how does he reconcile all the negative things he has said about President Weah?
My negative thing have not changed. If you look at the country right now, is it okay? Is the country okay? Even sedition protested just now during the election. So it's not only the president, it's not only the, I know I'm inclined to believe that some of the problems that are going on was inherited. It's just that the government have not found the voice to articulate how they got that problem. But some of the problem, even if Cummings or whoever was president want to still face some of those problems because they are age-old problems that go way back to the Sharif administration. But for me, I believe that by criticizing and carry on subversive activity so that this government can come on its knees and that will be an opportunity for you to come to power, I just do not believe that that is the best way to move forward because we are using the same Liberian people again, increasing their suffering, thinking that when they brought us there, we can do what? Do the same thing, and knowing for the world, knowing the caliber of people, knowing the character of some of the people in the opposition, I must as well just help the government to succeed. I must as well just talk to the president to succeed. I must as well just give my expertise to them or encourage Liberians to support their country, not the president. You are supporting Liberia, not only the president. Because if the government fail or the country fail, it's not President Weah. President Weah will always have food to eat for the rest of his life. His wife will always have food. His son is already successful. But the ordinary Liberian that you claim to be fighting for, but you want them to be on a knee and destitute, what kind of help are you giving them? What good is that help?
One more comment. This comment from Nancy Jordan said, thank you for the turnaround. And I think being an independent makes you to know few things to get few things from both sides.
Exactly.
It is all about love for country. May God bless you all. Samuel Sonda says, okay, there's a call. Samuel Sonda says, you guys are not makers. You have no more relevance. You took money from the government of Liberia to compromise the June 7th protest. You are a hustler.
I have no response to that person.
We have a caller on the line. Caller, your name and where you calling from?
Anthony's here, calling from Apple Valley, Minnesota. I'm happy joining you. How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing excellent. Anthony, welcome to Focus on Liberia. Your question or comment?
I will do my comment and then I will ask Brother Fadiga some questions.
One minute, 30 seconds.
All right. Thank you for coming, and also Hassan, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony.
Yeah, I've been following the conversation, and I want to provide some clarity. Art is aware, he knows Anthony, and he has been committed to this fight or advocacy for the establishment of the War Crime Code. I have worked along with him. He continued to provide t-shirts that I pick up from him all of the time. So yes, I don't question him when it comes to the fight for justice in Liberia, especially the establishment of the War and Economic Crime Court. But strictly to the main point, we were our member of the group that came together and decided that we were going to protest at the United Nations. He was right when he said that the 18th was the first day that was agreed upon. Later on, Fadiga, got information, as he did explain after he spoke to somebody, that President Weah was going to speak on the 26th. That's what I heard from him. My memory tells me that it's the 24th, but maybe I'm missing it. But
I think it was the 24th, but I just missed the date.
When he got the information that President Weah was speaking on the 26th, he felt that it would have been appropriate for us to have the event on the 26th. Now, what Fadiga did not do was he did not come to us because we had then had a formal a little election among us where we decided our leaders. And when he got that information, my expectation was that he was going to come, hey guys, this is the information I got. I was working on the tablet and I learned that Mr. Via was speaking. Is there a way we can change that? To my best knowledge, and if he wants to be honest here, he did not come in a group. He did not seek a meeting with the group to inform us that, hey, this is the information we got. And based on the information, I think it will make a lot of sense that we can have the event on the 26th instead of the 18th. But Hassan Fadiga did not do that. The first thing I saw was that he has a platform. He went on the platform and he literally said that the protest is canceled on the 18th. Those were his words. This is somebody I listened to.
They were after
a regular on his show. He knows that. He literally said protest is canceled on the 18th without having a meeting for us to decide. That was the decision he made. And so if you follow the trend at the time, even Yasini was on the 26th. Josiah Joker was on the 26th and they were there on the 18th. Now, when the split came about, we supported the 26th event. There were talk shows that were held. Those who cannot go on the 18th will go on the what? The 26th. But for him, he consistently said it makes no sense. He just said it here that for people to protest on the 18th, it made no sense that we were a bunch of arrogant people. Why would we have to protest on the 18th? But it was initially agreed some people have bought tickets. He acknowledged also that he had decided that he would have to change some other people's tickets. But again, some people's tickets could not be changed because of the kind of tickets they have required. Some people have already taken those days off. And, so that's why I was saying to that. So my question to him is this. He said that some people have the false belief that in America, people can protest every day. He said it clearly that it's a false belief for anybody to believe that you can protest any day. I want him to tell us if that statement is actually true, that it is not true, or it is a false statement that people can protest in America every day. Let him state here and give me an example where it is not possible whatsoever for people to protest on a particular day in America, even anywhere.
Thank you.
Yes.
Let me correct the brother.
Hold on, let him finish, then he will take his answer off the air. Conclude, Asoni.
All right. Thank you. So people can protest every.
You said you had a last question.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. My last question is they talk about let me see my note here.
Check it. Check your note.
Yeah. He said that Liberians were the only people on the 18th.
Yes, he said that.
You are my friend. I'm going to tell you that is a big lie. I have pictures and I have video that I can send to you. The Asians, I don't know whether they were from Japan or China. I don't know which country they came from. They were there. I even took pictures with them. You know the spot we protested. They were very close to the road between the Trump Tower and the
Yeah, no, I get that. I just want to get one.
We took pictures with them.
Okay.
And for you to also say that, oh, the rift beat us that day, are you happy that the rift beat us that day because you didn't agree with it? Is that what you're trying to say? Yeah, we were happy that we got soaked on that day.
Thank you.
No,
Asoni,
I was not happy.
Asoni, before you go, are you saying that you guys it was possible that you protest on both days? Is that your point? That you could protest on the 18th and still protest on the 24th?
Yes, it could be done because other people have taken off for the 18th because at the point we communicated. He said that we all communicated that date with our audience. People were encouraging to go.
Thank you.
And for some people, the fact that it was not possible for them to change it, and like I said, we supported the 26th.
Right, I get that. Thank you.
I think Dennis. I know Anthony. He's been to the house here a couple of times to collecting, like you correctly said. But I'm baffled that Anthony was part of the process, but still do not know what went on.
He's Asoni, S-O-N-Y, Asoni.
Yeah, Asoni. And it's sad. It saddens me that what Anthony is saying right now is just rumor. It's not the truth. It saddens me that Anthony do not know, but Anthony, for clarity, let me just tell you what happened. We did just that. When we found out that information, we went to the group. That was where all hell broke loose. You know what happened the first time when I got that information that the 26th was the best day? You know what happened? Vadala kicked us from the group. Everybody that said anything about the 26th, they were kicked out of the group so that we cannot express it because they did not want people to hear it.
But how you had their phone numbers?
No, I never had a phone number. I don't have Anthony's phone. I think I got Anthony's phone number. I never had a phone number. I mean, it was a Facebook chat. When we went with that information, the first thing this guy did, he kicked everybody out of the group that had anything to do with that information. Then we started the conversation. I called Yesini, I called the Emirate. We had a discussion about that thing. We had a lengthy discussion giving reason why we should do it on the other day and not the 18th. We had a meeting, not to say something. We just could not understand. And then what this guy is saying, he may not have understood what I said about people. People can protest 7 days a week. When I'm saying what I was saying, and he probably did not understand me right, was that nobody, Liberians in the diaspora, do not have the luxury of protesting every day. Most people do. The people that you saw down there were Hmong people. Those people protest all year. That the people from Tibet, that they consistently protest. Those people are different. But where Africans and other people go to protest at the United Nations, it's not on that day. The group that they saw down there, if you go on the day where people actually start protesting, where the presidents are speaking at the United Nations, the atmosphere is different. It's different from the environment that they saw there, at that place there. On the real day where the session is there, when people speaking, it's completely different. At that time, you see national from all over the world there. The place is very crowded and there one group of people. Those group of people I think that he saw there were the Tibetan. Those people been protesting all year round. They go down to
right. The Tibetan people.
No, I mean, there are people, but the way the protest is different. They are year-long Tommy where they go and do the yoga stuff there. So those were the people that were there. But on the real day of the assembly part, that's not even the point. Yeah. This was the logic that I tried to drive in. That
hey, no, I think they get the logic. What Emmerich is saying here is you actually went to the group, but you started insulting Vandala Patrick.
No.
Let me tell you why brought up the talk between Vandala. Vandala, Arrow said that everybody should shut up when according to the Liberian tradition, when your leaders speak, you need to keep quiet. And I got pissed. And it's true. I used some not so kind word on him for saying that. For saying that we should keep
that was
quiet.
Not a reason what kick out?
But that was not a reason we kick out the group.
I lost my train of thought. Let me tell you, Dennis, let me finish the point before I lose my train of thought. What happened was, when we discussed, before we even went our separate way, we had a discussion to convince each other why. The people that had tickets that were non-changeable ticket, we helped them to change the ticket. A lot of them were able to change the ticket. That even the problem, if you sacrificing for your country, ticket or no ticket, the thing here is we wanted to have the maximum result. Imagine if we have used all the energy of the 18 and put our energy to the mean day, which was the 26th. The 18 was never the mean day. When I say people can protest, people do not have the luxury of protesting 4 days in a row. Because one, in Liberia, in America, we all have work. We are all busy. That's why you do not see Liberian protesting every day. Most people will not do it every day because that is just so much of a luxury that we cannot afford. So what you want to do it on a day that you will have the maximum, the maximum result. And the day that we could have viewed the maximum result was on I think the 25th or the 26th, where the president was speaking, and they are already brought sedition from Philadelphia area to come and speak. So if we have collectively gone together, what the split did was it reduced the momentum for both sides, because what happened here is the group that should have come to join on that day, half of them went on the other side. So the group that were on the mean day, even though was sizable enough, we could have had more result if we are all just let our ego aside and do it on a day that I did not suggest, the park board suggests, the people at the licensing place suggested, and Americans suggested that we do it on. So we all went there ignorant. But that information, I'm sure Anthony did not get. But we did negotiate. If American can say it, he may not have been in a negotiation. Yesterday, and myself talk more than 10 different times. We're talking 2-3 times a day on the thing. But when they leave on the group, they go on the other side and gossip on the other side, and mind change. They go on the other side and gossip. So we could not have something. But we did talk to them. We use back channel. Dennis, your microphone is low. We use back channel. We try to negotiate. We try to talk them out of it. We try. Look, you think why we raise more money? We exceeded our goal for me when they could not even raise funding because it didn't make sense. Therefore,
hold on, Al. We got a caller on the line. Let me get this caller, then you can go ahead. Caller, your name and where you calling from?
Hi, Dennis. This is Emmerich calling from Maryland.
Emre, welcome to Focus on Liberia. Your question or comment. Your name has come up more than once in the group, so go ahead.
Yeah, I was in the know of the whole protest in New York. Okay. And I think I have to give my input.
Sure.
And let people know the truth. All right. I listened to and Hussein. I listened to Anthony. I listened to you. All right, we have to be truthful when we give information out there because we can always reference, the history of it.
Yeah.
All right. I listened to Anthony. Anthony is in complete corroboration with, the viewpoint. But I'm just going to add on to what Anthony said.
Okay.
He did not. I did not attend on the 18th, but I knows exactly those groups that were there. To me, that's a service again to the people. Another thing, when Anthony spoke of the group, I was kicked out. But Dennis, we have to be mature and professional in the way we carry out our function or the way we behave.
Why were you kicked out?
All right. What Anthony was saying, okay, even if there was error in picking a day, it did not mean that people that went on the 18th or people that had planned on going on the 18th were ignorant.
Right.
I would not use that choice of words on people. That choice of word on people.
Let me answer a question. We gotta go for you.
I would not use it and say they were ignorant because first of all, on the 18th, if they were ignorant, I think they were ignorantly good because the 18th was actually declared Human Rights Day by the United Nations. Mm-hmm. So people that protested the high human rights issue, that day, the 18th was the appropriate day.
Only you guys were there.
Okay. So if you look at it, okay, let's go back. All right. The issue of people protesting on the 18th, on the 24th, we as mature people, professional people, right, we did not want to counter people going on the 24th. Since it already happened, to correct it, we supported both days. That's the reason why I was there on the 18th, and I supported on the 24th. Okay. On the 24th, when we went there, we were supposed to show force, we were supposed to show momentum, we were supposed to show numbers. We were about far less than people that went there on the 18th. I had to place phone calls to people right nearby, my friends that were in New Jersey, Robert Anderson and his whole family, his sisters. They didn't want came from New Jersey to join us. Or else we would have been probably maybe the 7 or 8 or even less. Okay. Okay?
That's
so
not true.
It's not about someone being wrong or right. It's the way we talk, the way
we guy is lying. Dennis, you watch the video. We're headed there and even more. What are you talking about?
Watch the video.
Before you leave, let me ask you. You said
I'm not going to argue with you on that thing.
Hold on. I think the issue here is, and there's another call coming. So, Emre, why were you kicked out of the group as well?
Okay, I disagreed with Vendela Patrick.
Okay.
Okay, I disagree with him. And the same thing I is saying, Vendela, this form of control when you're in leadership. So we had to discuss it. And we amicably discussed it because the way I presented it. Right. And Vendela could see through that the whole group was siding with me based on how I presented it. I did not come out insulting. Okay. I did not come out being abusive. I did not come out being derogatory.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me give a chance to another, because I don't think you guys are in disagreement. You are talking about the way it was done. So thank you very much. You can take your answer off the air.
At least we acknowledge that Fandara Patrick without behaving like a leader.
People have acknowledged that Fandara Patrick kicked them off. It's enough. I don't want to call.
I don't want to respond to Emmerich. Emmerich is a two-faced creep. I cannot respond to him because you know what? Emmerich was one of those people that we had discussion, but because they have the clique, it's all about clique. I do not have clique. I do not phone clique. I have my own opinion. When Emmerich came, we said something else after he was feeling aggrieved. When Badana kicked him off, he was feeling aggrieved. He went to Yesini. They talked the thing in a clique. They felt that if they had changed that day, it would take something from on their skin. It would bruise their ego. So they stubbornly went there. I said, we ignorantly chose. I didn't say one group was ignorant. I said we ignorantly chose the 18. We all ignorantly chose the 18 because we didn't know. But when the pack told us that the 18 was not a good day, we should choose it on a different day that the president would speak, we listened to the pack in America. The thing
Mandela Project was the first, let me clear.
They told Mandela Project he withheld that information
we held that deliberately.
The man said, I told Mandela Project that information. There where we got furious. Why was his motive of hiding that information and giving all the wrong day? Dennis, just imagine, we are all going there on the 18th. No, if we are not protesting for the 26th, we are all going there on the 18th. You know what happened on the 26th? When the president was speaking, we had two buses that came from Philadelphia with all the beautiful t-shirt, well coordinated, dancing at the United Nations. What was going to be the voice? Who was going to be the voice of the advocate? These are the people that are talking about community leader. They make wild decision. How good would that decision have been had nobody gone down there? We are not insisted. We just sit down and allow them to go on the 18th, where they just sit down in the park on the mean day. Then all sedition go there and pressure the president. What would have been the result of this?
Well, I have a caller, but before that, all they are saying is they agree with you on the 24th, but they say it's your manner of presentation. But let me get this caller.
I'm an adult. You can't tell me how to present myself. You behave. You and myself have talked. You talk most of the time.
And then told me to shut up. He told her to keep quiet. You cannot tell an adult to keep quiet that you are the leader when you're not paying someone.
Who is Mandela Project that asked you submit to? That's the thing.
All right. You know? We have another caller on the line because the phone is. Caller, your name and where you calling from. You have 1 minute.
My name is Prince Sharif.
Prince from under the Palava Hut. Welcome to Focus on Liberia. Your question or comment?
Thank you. Mine is not a question. Mine is, let me just say hi to your studio guest.
What's up, Prince?
My brother Dennis, and to Liberians that are listening to us. One thing I want us to get here, people can never achieve their dream or their goal when they are divided individually. All of the people who were part of that, whatever they call it, protest or what, all of them have different agenda. My brother Dennis, we interacted with almost all of these people that were part of the group. I personally interacted with some of them. I'm going to say on this platform, people who are listening, let them listen. I interacted with some of them. And what we observe, because this is politics, this is our life. The not joking we do here, our politics, our life. We pour everything into it. We interacted with some of these people. And what we observe is that some of the people that was even in the group, their intention was not to go down there to go voice out anything. Their intention was to see how best they can be able to meet the leadership of either CDC or to see the president to get what they can get. So everybody that was part of that group, there were some people that went there with genuine concern that there are issues that are happening that they want to call the government attention to. But the vast majority of these people, they went there to show their ego. They went there to show how educated they are. They went there to put forth their political agenda. So at the end of the day, the actual cause or the reason for which some people think that they were going to gather was defeated. That was the first place that they were defeated. The second issue is that, let me say this, in everything you do as a human, you must always have what we call a plan. You must have a team that will be planning vigorously over and over. But at the end of the day, the people that went down there, they never had a plan. Only because they feared that the president was coming, and Liberians, I don't want to say even sedition, and Liberians were going there to show solidarity to their president, who is the figure of our nation. we're supposed to go there. What did they achieve?
We achieve a lot.
That's the first
If you
question.
didn't know, we achieve a lot.
Okay.
What was the motive?
I can tell you what we achieved.
For which they went there?
All right.
HR 55.
Will tell you one, another person will tell you another.
Okay, Prince. Prince, just conclude. Conclude so we can.
Okay. So to conclusively conclude, in
Hey,
a
yeah.
concluding manner, I want to say that whether a protest is organized from heaven, from hell, or from the Abayas, or from Jahannama, the CDC, USA, and Liberians are prepared to counteract it intellectually and with the same intelligence.
Okay.
We may not sit in this country in the last few group of people who are driven by political ambition to turn our nation character that all of us have worked for over the period into a mess. We will not do that. So anytime a protest is made, I can assure you that it will be a failure. It will be a fiasco because we are on the ground. We are political play with we here. We're political our life.
Thank you, Prince.
Our life.
Thank you, Prince.
So Anthony get ready. Anthony get ready. Let me speak specifically to my brother Anthony. Let me get ready, man, is a former CDC partisan. We know how he left the party. We know what happened. But at the appropriate time, he will account for those things. We know what happened.
Thank you. Thank you, Prince.
Yeah, let me just conclude, sir. Please, let me just conclude. Give me 30 seconds. Let me just conclude.
Okay.
Well, the man who have questions, wasting our time. Gotta be all here by 3 though.
Of that nation is coming. Liberians from every rest of life will work on that president. If people like Anthony and the Yasoni there that say Liberians should die, let them go and organize. And we will counter.
All right. Thank you.
We will counter those protests.
Thank you
very much for giving me the opportunity. Even though I had enough time for thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
I don't know whether you had a question or a statement, but I won't speak to what Prince said just now because I don't know what he was saying. He was just rambling. But as far as the protest being something, we got a resolution, HR 255 from Senator Donovan that came through our protests and so many other things going on in the back end as far as war and economic crime is concerned in our place there. So I don't know what it means by that. But you see, people like Prince are people that are making it difficult for this government because some of the things he's saying there, I mean, you can't stop people from protesting. By you being riled up and all those something there, you got nothing to gain. The government, when your government in power, you got nothing to gain by all those talking. The opposition ain't got nothing to prove. All they need to do, then is your microphone low. All the opposition need to do here is to just oppose and resist and say whatever. So for some of you, your strategy is one of the things that hurting the president because those forceful and you can be angrier than the opposition. You cannot be angrier than the opposition. You cannot even be more forceful for the opposition. At this point, you guys should be more level-headed than something because actually, the more force you use, you suffer. The less force you use, you suffer. You need to find that equilibrium. That's just my honest advice to you. But as far as the protest is concerned, the protests were successful, and Emery just lied and talk about 7 people. He called people. Emery is just, I don't respect Emery. That's why I don't even want to speak to some of the things. There are people that do not say things in your face. They will say in the back end because if he can come, nobody call you there. You had no team that brought you there. You guys were just ashamed that's why you came to that second protest. But I'm done with that whole protesting. Let them move.
Yeah, I want us to move on to the COP. But have one call up and then I think it's Ruth. Ruth has been calling over and over, but somebody's always on. So after this caller, I want to get Ruth and then we move on to COP. Caller, your name and where you calling from?
This is Chris Massele, all the way from beautiful Maryland.
Please call you off. I will not listen to Chris. I will call off. I do not want to talk to him. If you keep it on, I will call out the phone. I have blocked Christmas.
Hold on, Chris. Let me take another.
I'm gonna get off the line.
I do not want to talk to him. If you want me to leave, get it off.
Nothing to talk.
I don't want to talk to that
right
kid.
now. I'm done with it.
All right. I respect your
I
time.
cannot talk to that kid. Here he cannot talk.
Okay.
We'll meet in person and then the disrespect that he been doing, he should repeat it.
All right.
Okay,
we have another caller.
We don't have talk.
We have another caller. Caller, your name and where you calling from?
Brother Chad, this is Wilton Kepler calling from Connecticut.
Wilton Kepler from Connecticut. Your question or comment?
Yeah,
Brother John, thanks for the program. I've been following it for a little bit now, and those guys gave me justification as to the action, the protest action in DC. In New York. I think we've gone past that stage. What Liberians should be concerned with, and people who organize protests in the name of those things that they put forth. We have come to the stage where this government is trying to prosecute a case, $4.6 billion, and I have yet to hear any of those guys from the left that were pushing protests about the Asian society and all the different things. I got yet to hear them even say a word about it. Secondly, you had one of your guests on your show one time called Josiah Joket. His put out there on the show, and I listened. I tried to call him that day, but I couldn't. He put a radiant CD on the show that he goes around West Africa or the world and help the people to conduct elections. And so it can be democratically observed and all that kind of stuff.
Wait on.
It's the same, man. I'm coming, brother.
I want you to speak to the issue with my guest. Joker is not here now.
And that's the issue because his name came out in the protest. His name came out. Joker's name came out in this protest. He was
never he just showed up. I never saw him in any.
His name in it. His name came out in the protest. All right, and this is the same thing we talk about the hypocrisy. You understand me?
Okay.
Hassan Fadiga is saying, you cannot be like that. Put Liberia first. This is the man, the very first day they announced George Weah winner, said George Weah not his president. He will never honor him as a president. This is the man that went around Africa, Guinea, Ghana, to monitor the people's election and accepted the result and say it was democratically done. But he would not even acknowledge
the one in Liberia,
his own election in Liberia. And these people come out of Liberia and stage demonstration upon demonstration, trying to paralyze the country, saying that they will paralyze George Weah and his people in government.
Wait on there's nothing wrong with demonstration. It's part of democracy.
No, there's nothing wrong with demonstration. Demonstration should only happen when you have legitimate reason. Some of the reasons that the demonstration is not legitimate at all.
Because what is legitimate to you may not be legitimate to the other fellows.
So you agree with me that the $16 billion was not legitimate at all because there was no substance at all. We have stole $16 billion. We agree with me on that?
No, I'm saying let people protest if they want to. We shouldn't stop them.
But brother Jah, protest is causing Liberia more harm than good at this point in time.
Okay, I will let my guest respond.
I don't know whether it was question but yeah, we had a specific. If you notice, the March for Justice for which we went for, it was, for me, I'm a victim of the war. I got bullets in my leg to prove for it. I got shrapnels in my back to prove for it. I'm a direct victim of the war. So I don't know about you, but for me, when I went to that place, the reason we insisted on having it on the day that we use more effect, the better outcome was because we strongly believe in what we were doing. We went over there, not for nothing else, but because we believe that war and economic crime is long overdue, and this will be an opportunity to put pressure behind the president. We saw HR 55 came from there with Senator Donovan. We have pushed some string all over, and it will happen. This is the president never took part in the war. All we are asking him to do is to do right by the Liberian people and give us justice. It's long overdue, it's delayed. That was one of the things that we went there for. For the other people that went there, I don't know why they went there. I don't know what was the motive. But Dennis, you mute again.
No, just go ahead. I when there's disturbance, I just mute my mic.
Yeah. So so that was the reason we went there, and with everything that going on, we'll see moving forward. We have chosen to disengage from most of those things. I will see how it will go on. We saw one other one that went on. For me, I'm solution based. I believe that Liberia or failed Liberia will affect everybody, my brothers, my relatives, my uncles, my nephews in Liberia. The solution to Liberia problem is not even in who right and who wrong, who opposition or something. I'm done with all those different positions. In position, no position, our position. They are all a bunch of the same people looking for opportunity to do everything. If you haven't reached to that point yet, be my guest. But I have come, it's called maturity. I have come to that point that we need solution based. The government doesn't have all the answer. There are some areas that we have expertise in here. We need to prevail on this government so that this country can succeed. Not only the president, because the president is not going to fail. The president will win in his personal life. It's the country that's going to fail. If the country fail, then Liberia will keep lacking behind other countries.
All right. Let's go to your break from the COP and what actually happened, the June 7th protest. I see you were on your way to Monrovia to protest, and later on you were in Senegal, and then there was a trading of accusation, counter accusation about corruption and mismanagement of funds, and how you were paid so as to undermine the protest, and you even wanted all kinds of allegations went on. So just give us a brief on what transpired and where you are now.
The whole thing with that protest, one time getting close. The whole thing with that protest is just stupid. All of them, most of those things were not. Yes, if you look at the story you read about Safety State, we started this Safety State months ago, as early as early as last year, and with this whole Safety State movement. I have never been a part of the COP. I was never a part of the COP. I never endorsed the COP. I was part of a Safety State movement, group of Liberians that believe that we can draw attention, the president's attention to some national issues that he probably may have been tuned deaf upon, or his people were not telling him. We felt that there was a need for that. We started the first GoFundMe. That GoFundMe was a little slow. I think a little slow. It were a couple of people, Boyka Jaleba and Muhammad Ali. They saw the idea to Costa. I don't know what was the motive. I will not presume the motive. But yeah, Costa, he has a radio station in Liberia. He's a popular figure in Liberia. He had a bigger platform. So when Costa started to talk about the protest for right after the radio station thing, it grew wild. Even though it was already in the pipeline, we were already planning something in that direction. So they took the Safety State movement. They formed a different Safety State too. So it was the same Safety State thing. They took the movement, even the logo that was there. They took everything, the logo, the name, they took everything. And then because we believed that it was a cause that we all supported and we all was thinking in the same direction, we did not run away from it. We said, oh, you know what? We can do this together. So it became a collective effort. But what they wanted to do, I think, is that because they wanted to own it, for whatever reason, whatever motive, they decided to turn Safety State into hold on, man. Why can people? They try to turn Safety State into a COP. So COP were born out of Safety State.
You missed some point.
Hold on, man. I have somebody just call me and
Hussein, let me come in a little bit. You missed.
Hold on, let me go off and come back.
Go ahead.
Okay, guys. So what happened was, like Hussein regular stated, COP came from out of Safety State movement. The Safety State movement started way last year when a group of Liberians came after the election, came together, and we decided to form a think tank group that we work together and to find common solution to the problem in Liberia. So we initiated a GoFundMe account, and we started to plan the protest in January. By February, we opened a GoFundMe account, and then by March, April, another group, Boyka Jaleba, opened, and then he pitched the idea to Henry Costa. Henry Costa ran with the idea, it went viral, but we already had it set up. So they added us to the group. When they added us to the group, we had a lot of people that were added to the group. So when they added us to the group, some people were not happy because they felt that our ideas were stolen, and they said, why is city guys using it and owning it as their own? So they kicked a couple of people out of the group, including myself, even though I did not speak at that time. And then later on, they added us back, they apologized. So we came together to form the protest. And a lot of people do not know this, but the protest before it could start, it was from last year we started planning the protest, not even this year. And we were one of the people that initiated, I think, that brought out the idea about the protest. So we knew how we wanted how it sort of be executed and what our end game was. So
speak to the suffering. We don't have time, just
Okay, so let me go to it. So when right after that, I said in order for all to join the protest, Darius Dillon and Henry Costa should not be the head of this protest. That's the only way we join the protest. I wanted for the protest to be headed by the common people, the market women, the Zoko, because I wanted for sedition, I wanted for the ordinary Liberian to take ownership of the protest so they can use the desired result that we're looking for. The desired result was two things. For the government to make honest effort to shift her policy on certain things, or if the government cannot do it, we decide another course of action. So that was the premise of the protest. So when I talk about Darius Dillon and Henry Costa not being part of the head, we came up with a general consensus. That's how they came up with spokesmen. They said, okay, we agree that Darius Dillon and Henry Costa will not be the head of the protest, but they will be spokesmen. And the reason I came up with this is the same reason that led to this problem right now. They managed to convince us by saying that these guys will be the head. They will only be spokesmen for the group, but they will not be the head. We have problem with Sandro Johnson and the senators being part of the COP. They were one of the concerns that we raised to during that time. And they said, but these guys, then we need them to, because we need them to help push our agenda. But we're very skeptical about that. But let us still, we went along. So when we started the protest, everything was going fine. We used to meet together and we collectively discuss. After that, the next thing we noticed, we saw on the news that these guys were planning a meeting with the president. So I told them, why are we hearing the news from Front Page Africa that you guys are going to be meeting with the president, and we have a group together that we sort of sit and discuss and about what we sort of do. But the idea of meeting with the president is wrong right now. It's not the best idea. At least the president to make an honest effort in doing something before we can sit and meet with him. Right now, the strategy was we had the government and the government were concerned. So we're in a better position to negotiate with the government. And if we start meeting with the government through diplomatic channel, it will weaken our bargaining chip. It will weaken our hands in order to make the government to act on on what we wanted to act on. The guys didn't listen. They said we're in America here and we want to dictate to them. That's when they created the COP. They said that the COP were going to be the decision body making decision for the entire group. In order for them to come up with any decision, they would discuss with the COP and they will come up before they come up with a decision with a decision. So they started to go back and forth. We started to argue and go back and forth. Other people spoke with us. Long story short, other people spoke with us. They said, "You guys started the movement and you guys won for the president to shift his policy and do right by the Liberian people. You cannot go public or say anything right now. Since these guys are in Liberia, let them take ownership of it. Let them be the one doing it. You can only do so much because you're not on the ground." So I contacted Darius Dillon. I told him we're coming to Liberia. I wrote him after he called me. We spoke. I wrote him. He didn't respond. The person that responded to me was ESL Emmanuel Gonkwe. So Emmanuel Gonkwe was also having problem with the ESLI. We as a group that were on the other side, especially from the diaspora, we decided to talk with these guys, encourage the EFL, we encourage Soup to join the movement because they felt that they were being disrespected by the hierarchy of Soup, of the COP rather. Yeah, so yeah. We decided to encourage them and talk with them for them to join the movement, for all to work collectively to see that the process succeed. So while going through it, we bought our ticket. We planned to go to Liberia and do everything. When I contacted Darius Dillon did not respond to me. Then we started hearing news. A girl, that friend with my brother said, "What kind of news I'm hearing that they say you guys going down there?" When we got to, before we could leave, we bought something. We told them that we're coming. The only EFL said they were going to receive us. So when we got to Ghana, a girl sent my brother an inbox. He said, "But what kind of news hearing?" They said they arrested you guys to the border, to the Guinean border with arms. And we hear all kind of news that you won't go and overthrow the government. So I told my brother, I said, I got 5 days off. when we reach on Thursday, we go to Liberia. We stay there for the protest, and then I want to come back on Monday. So you got 3 weeks off. The news that we're hearing right now, and these guys don't want to receiver, only EFL volunteer to send people to receiver, and some guys from Firestone, they also said they were going to receiver. I say it's risky. If we go Liberia right now, the people that we supposed to be with for to see to it at the protest, and join the protest together, they're not willing to work with us. We don't know whether they're trying to set it up, whether what in the news that they carry. We can do two things. We can go to Liberia, but in the whole there, I could lose my job. It could affect my marriage. It could affect so many things because I only have 5 days. Should we take the risk and go to Liberia, given the situation? He said no, because they already signed a memorandum of understanding with the government of strong security agreement with the government that the protest to be for only 1 day. All the documents are online. Most people did not know that. But COP and the government signed a cooperative security agreement that the protest will be for only 1 day. If we already knew that the protest was going to be for 1 day. So we say in the protest for 1 day, the people are only going to go there and cause. They're not going to use anything the government might choose to act, or they might choose to just do nothing, because there is nothing to pressure the government for the government to act. So we can do two things. We got news about the president doing something in having some business in home in the places. He had other activities that going on he always go to Senegal. Maybe we could do like what we did in Hong Kong. Instead of going to Liberia and risking my job for going for 5 days and keeping there, and I have to come back. Why can't we just fly to Senegal and go and see what the president was up to in Senegal, what we can find out, because we've been hearing all this rumor. That's how we took another flight to Senegal. That's why I took out to Senegal. That was my first time going to Senegal. We went to Senegal and we started to look around. After the protest, other people talked to us. Say, saying you guys are not going to Liberia. We beg that you guys they remain quiet until the protest can go on. I told them, but we got other news about the money changing. How we got to know about the money changing here? In the group, when we're in the group, there was a little confusion with Druford, Newville, the EFF, and some other guys. So what we did, I used a common security strategy. We played information on different people. So everybody got angry. When the other person fell, the other person was talking about them. The other person fell, the other person was talking about them. Everybody started to talk. So when everybody started to give their story, we were able to piece everything together, and we found out that ECOWAS told them that they only wanted for the protest to be 1 day because it was going to cripple the economy. They agreed with it, and they told ECOWAS that they spent a lot of money to organize the protest. That was when ECOWAS released a certain amount of cash. We heard it was $200,000 for the protest to be for 1 day and to pay for the cost and the expense that they already had previously. So it pays us off, and we decided to remain quiet. After the protest, that's when we decided, when they were planning another protest again for 1 month, I told my brother, I said, this group betrayed the Liberian people because the president is not acting on anything. They accuse of wanting to carry coup d'etat with the president. And all kinds of things they started saying, and they blaming it on us. They betrayed the people's struggle, so they shouldn't be heading the movement again. We should go back to the original plan where the Liberian people will take over the thing, not senator or people that have a hidden agenda to take over it. That's where we split, and we decided not to go. We decided to go.
Let me just add to what you were saying. Dennis,
and clarify the 200,000
from ECOWAS.
Let me tell you one of the things. One of my main people go to these things with different things. For me, we did not want to politicize. I mean, always politicize. We did not want the political institutions to head that protest. We wanted any protest in Liberia should be, because the problem in Liberia is not only Unity Party or anybody, it's all Liberians feeding the problem. Whatever with the economy is no secret that the economy is not doing well. So every Liberian, how can we get every Liberian on board so that they can speak to the government through peaceful protests? But when we started to see people politicizing it and everybody trying to take their own stand, look, if you look at the protest that day, it was turned into a flash mob. All the big political party leaders, you look at the face. Even, and one of the things people say the protest was successful, yes, it was successful because it has some success because of the hype running into the protest. But as far as result, it entered into a partisan bickering. It appeared like a partisan bickering where a group of angry partisans they unlike a real protest where Liberians were actually going to speak to the president that we were advocating for, it disappeared. It disappeared the moment you were going on the stage. It disappeared the moment other political leaders from other parties came and they became the face of the protest. And that was something that we fundamentally disagree with. And then with the lack of transparency, the lack of accountability, when you ask people questions, they feel that they're not answerable to you. So I'm like, these are people that supposed to be in the opposition. These are opposition leaders. These are people that wanted to assume power. If they're attacking this president and we're joining with them, some of us have different motives. For me, I know I was sincere in wanting the people to protest, to advocate on their behalf. I don't know the other people's motive. But what I could gather from this is that if people are not willing to hold themselves to certain standards, if people are not willing to hold themselves accountable, if people cannot even tolerate the slightest criticism, but yet and still they want to be bashing the government, then what's the need? What are we fighting for? What are we fighting for? If I look right, I love right, I see the people just a different version of the government that ain't waiting to come there. And should I, with clear conscience, support it, or should I sit down and think? So we sat down and talked it over for a long time. It was a very difficult thing to do, to go against everything that people that you are stood up with. But people don't do it often in Liberia. Other people will sit down and say, you know what, let just be there, buy on the table, or be high-fiving. But no, if look, most of our advocacy in Liberia is not grounded by any set philosophy or set ideology. Are just people that want to be noticed, some people looking for attention. So if you strongly believe that the country is not moving on the right trajectory and you believe that something needs to happen, there is nothing you will do to compromise that. That will be your focus. But where people have ulterior motive, where some people running for office, they want to use that as a means, other people using different things, then you are exploiting the people because you are using the people for your own selfish aim. And I didn't want to be part of that thing. You know, I'm not perfect, but it ended up being not about the Liberian people after all. It ended up being about a few group of individuals that were doing it for their own aggrandizement and it showed. And moving forward, we'll see how it will play out because if you notice, all the voices getting holes. A few months from now, reality will sink in. You'll find out that Liberia is still where it is because the problem here is we have not come to that solution base. And then when we gradually shifted in the middle, let me tell you one of the things I gathered.
Yeah, that's why I want to come to because the time is fast spent. Where you guys
let me
are
tell you
now?
one of the things I gathered about shifting in the middle. My brother, if you sit on the fence and shift in the middle, you see and understand clearly. You understand Liberia. I now understand why some of the older politicians are not too happy. If you look at the people from the Moja and all those older groups, they are not even happy about the opposition now. They are not even happy about anything. They just cool. Because what these guys are realizing from it's just new group of people advocating to do the old thing. So why can't people join with the government and help the government? Why can't the government reach out to people? So if you listen to my tune now, it has changed because I have never been so discouraged in my life where people that you think that were sincerely fighting for something and not fighting for their own selfish aim, fighting for their own interest, and using the Liberian people in that for the something. So it's just disheartening, and when you reach to that point, you're like, you know what? They are all the same anyway. So why not just be with find solution?
Okay, let me get a last caller who will talk for 30 seconds and then you will give your concluding statement so we can end the broadcast.
Yeah.
Caller, your name and where you calling from?
Yes, this is and I'm calling from New York.
Your name again?
My name is Star Taylor.
Taylor.
Yeah, from New York.
Go ahead.
Okay, my question goes to, it's going to be followed by a short 10 seconds comment. My question goes to Fadiga. It's a yes or no question. Did you hear the tape of Costa saying that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf should give him $50,000 cash down and $5,000 every month so that he could go slow on the president. Did you hear that tape?
No, can you repeat that question?
Yes, I heard it.
Did you ever hear the tape? The tape where Henry Costa was heard soliciting $50,000 for Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and then $5,000 every month so that he will go slow on Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and her boys. Did you ever listen to that tape?
I listened to that tape. That was some of our concern. For some of those two, we can't say everything now. That was some of our concern.
This is my 10 seconds conclusion. And this is my final question. If you listen to that tape and you heard someone saying something like that, Fadiga, you're an honorable person, I know you personally, I will call you offline, we'll talk. What made you to support someone who made that kind of deal with a certain president to go slow on them, especially when the president is asking that president to pay you $50,000 using Liberia for money to pay you $50,000 and $5,000 every month? Why did you align yourself with such an unscrupulous person? Thank you very much.
No, you see, if you listen to the presentation, it was not like I was supporting Costa. That was where we had our problem from the beginning. That certain people, we did not want to hear this thing. That was our
emphatic about that.
We're emphatic about that. Let me tell you this thing. It seemed like we're working together. Yes, we're working together for one goal, for the protest. But whether we supported the COP, no. We supported the Safe to State movement. And that Safe to State movement was what gave birth to the COP. What most people don't know yet is the only thing that we're bonded together on was the fact that we wanted a protest. That was all. That was the only bond that we had. But to say where we supported whatever thing, no. It's like you fighting war and people come to join your cause. You will not tell them, say, oh, don't go on the battlefront. Yes, but at the same time, you're posing certain stipulations. You know that the people have certain integrity or certain problem. You say, you know what? You can be restricted to so and so thing. That was the restriction we're putting in place. That,
so quickly, when you say you have shifted your position, where are you now? Are you going slow on the president? Are you going to turn your face? Because you went to the extent of going to Hong Kong, to Senegal to investigate. Are you going to go slow on these things now to just be?
No, I will not go slow. Let me tell you something. The reason we went to Hong Kong. Look, one of the main reasons we went to Hong Kong. Look, do you know how many years we have heard about Ellen Johnson Sirleaf building hospital in South Africa?
Mm-hmm.
South Africa. Do you know that if one Liberian journalist have left from Liberia and gone to South Africa and ask around, they will find out that information. Rumor don't hide in Africa anywhere in the world. If anything going on, as soon as you get in that country, people say, oh, you know what, the Liberian president hospital there. Have you? Nobody. It was just a rumor. It was just a rumor, like Sebastian Moir, a hotel in Central African Republic. These are Ellen Johnson Sirleaf people. Have any journalists actually gone to those places to verify? No. We wanted to do something differently. And that was the real reason we went to Hong Kong. And as far as going slow, I think it's like a wolf on my eye. It just clear up because I don't recognize the people that we're fighting with anymore. Sometimes when I look left, I look right, they look more like Bugu men than the government. I'm more frightened of them. Look, let me tell you one of the things that happened in the few days. I kid you not. You'll be surprised that with everything that going on, with everything that we have said about this president, with all the castigation and everything that we have said critical of this president, you would think that the government will be the people that will hate us the most, that sedition will be the one that will hate us the most. Do you know what happened? The most hateful people that I've seen on social media are people in the opposition. The most hateful, intolerant, inconsiderate people that I've seen in my lifetime are the people that I've seen in the opposition, especially the diaspora. Never. Look, do you know? You do know how long we've been creating in Georgia? Ask Carrasco. Carrasco and myself say cool. He never unfriended me. We still cool. We still very, very cool. One sedition I respect. Even Moluba Molu. Have you seen Moluba Molu insult me before? Have you seen Akaras Gray? Akaras Gray came on my show during the election. We had a candid discussion. The opposition are more intolerant than sedition that they call Zogo. And for some of you that probably have not reached to that level yet, and I'm like, what kind of people are these? The people that you think are someone to hate you, sedition, you through all the process with everything that have gone on. sedition were the least people that people that you expected to hate you and come at you and do something. They were the least spiteful people. I'll
so
tell
you say you are afraid of the opposition now more than you are afraid of the CDC.
I'm afraid of them more than CDC. That is why
I lied to you guys. Let me get my last.
They are intolerant. They are very intolerant. And anybody, look, can you imagine? These people put picture of Joe. We have to do everything. I use reverse psychology. Just say something disparaging about Alex Cummings or say something about them.
Hassan said something like that. He called Alex Cummings.
Anyway, all angry. He's calling here and there. Let me tell you something. It's just to prove that we practice what you preach. Those people are taking man cause to another level. Who people, educated people, encourage the insulting of the president mother? They cause man cause. These are women. And when you tell them one thing on social media, they get mad. These are women that think they are feminists, but they cannot even support another female candidate because that candidate is on the other side. What kind of ideology are you guys offering? What do you believe in? What do you want? It said like you cut the line, you one person black and white, and the other people on the other side are less Liberian, they are less important. And if you on the side, then you are in heaven, you are injured. No. You guys need to disabuse your mind of that. Understand that we are all Liberians and that we are all fighting for the same thing. We just happen to be on different sides fighting. If you are that tolerant, then we can find a solution. But give the people power right now and see what they were doing in Liberia. They'll be beating the Liberian people every day.
Let me give my last caller 15 seconds. My last caller. Call out your name and where you calling from.
My name is Dr. George Gunpu. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Dr. Gompu, your question or comment, 30 seconds, please.
Okay, I just want to congratulate you and the Fadiga brothers on a very beautiful show. I think your presentation is quite informative. And I think the Fadiga brothers have done so much work to inform the Liberian public, especially when it comes to bringing information like the information related to the bogus loan that came from the Eaton brothers. I think they went a long way to do real serious research on that. And the position they're coming to now, as discussed in the show, that they're going to be independent, or they are now taking independent position. I think that should be welcome. I think Liberia needs that. I don't think that the media and all of the Liberian intellectuals should either be left or right, position, opposition, or ruling position. So I think we need some people in the middle. And the only suggestion I'd like to make is that as they come in the middle, they should not be soft on either side. Because when you claim the middle position, which is critical, is important for the development of the country, then you should treat all sides equally in terms of being tough, being rigorous on all sides. And I think that would be welcome. And secondly, I wanted to talk about a caller who calling denouncing the idea of protest. And I think that caller is maybe in favor of government. What I would like to say is that many of the people who protest are not necessarily anti-government. I think if the government becomes more accessible, it can reduce the intensity and the frequency of protests. If you look across this country, New York City, even the White House, they have regular shows where the president comes on and make presentation to the ordinary people. The mayor of New York City comes on the show every week and take calls from the public. And so many issues are addressed. So I just want to say in short, thank you. And if you want to reduce protests, you should make government more accessible, listen to the people, and basically try to respond positively to their needs. And then you reduce the frequency of protest. So thank you very much. I didn't really have a question.
Thank you, Dr. Gompo.
Thank you, Dr. Gompo.
All right, guys, I want to hear your final statement so we can conclude.
Let me go first because I got to go to work. Dennis, it was nice having me on. There are some things we can say about that whole COP thing. There are some things we're putting exhaust everything on the show. But let me tell you something. What I know is that that at some point, they say, my dad used to always say this. He said, when people speak ill of you, don't go around trying to convince the whole world that you are not that person. You will never succeed. He said one thing, he said, son, he said, live your life in a way that nobody will ever believe them. Live your life in a way that nobody will believe them. And I think that's what I've gathered us for all these years. Even with the Ellen pay us, nobody will bring you in and bank account and show that Ellen pay us. I think sometimes when you do something, you deserve pay. I think the reason people will speculate that is because we're not getting paid. But besides that, besides the humor and all of something, I've come to realize that there are no good or bad side. For some of you that are so extreme that think that you have seen the worst, that Liberia have come to Armageddon, you can forget so quick. The worst thing that happened to Liberia, one of the worst things, is a bittersweet pill what Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has so much resources. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has so much opportunity that in 10 years time, Ellen could have transformed Liberia into an oasis of wealth. Ellen squandered that opportunity. Ellen abused the money that was sent to Liberia. She mismanaged it. She brought her foreigners in that country there, her economic thieves and tourists. They came to that country. They exploited that country. They lived modestly. They have all disappeared. Liberia is still there struggling, and we are reeling from all the effect, all the bad things that Ellen did for generations. I pray that this government come to that point to actually do something about it, because they cannot move forward until they extricate themselves from all the bad things that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and her Unity Party did in that country.
Thank you.
That's one. Two, Liberians that say you want to sabotage the country and sabotage the government. To you in the diaspora that think that is something noble, you feel good about yourself. The elections are over. The election, there will be more election. I want you to think, a few months from now, everything will make sense. You will find out that Liberia will not be safe, that nothing will actually change, that the only way that country can change if you and myself decide to adopt a solution-based approach. It's easy to be president, not easy thing. Ellen thought it was easy, she went there, she ended up being something. Samuel though, it's the same thing. When you're from outside and you're on the page, you can see all the mistakes. But when you get in there, governing Liberia based on just like dealing with Liberian organization, I can just imagine what it takes to be a president of a country called Liberia. If you have headed any Liberian organization before, look, I used to be the chairman for the Unity, the ALP in Minnesota. That was the only political party I've ever joined in my life. Man, we were having meetings and yeah. The next thing I noticed, people that felt that they could do it better. Look, Liberians are backstabber. They will lie. They will look at you doing something. They don't know how you're doing it. They don't know how you get there. But in their mind, they can do it better than you. And you will not know that they can do it until you give them the opportunity, and they will mess it up for you, for them, for everybody. That's how we are. We do not start something until other people start it, and then we want to mess it up. This is exactly what we're having. Yes, the government has problems. Yes, the president, look. The president needs to put his best team forward. It's just about 15 minutes in a match. He needs to put his best striker in front so that they can win. You cannot wait for injury time to start bringing people on the field. Chances are you will lose the match. You cannot wait injury time to start bringing people on. Now is the time to put all your striker on the pitch, because it's difficult. The country is hard. Sedition just protested in an election. People shouldn't get mad at them. At least they did it early on, 15 minutes in a match. You still got 90 minutes to go. You're going 15 minutes into first half. You ain't even going second half yet. 15 to 20 minutes in the first half. You have a long way to go to get that thing right. For me, I believe that this president must succeed and Liberia will succeed. If you're thinking that you want Liberia to fail, you cannot resuscitate a failed government. Not Cummins, not Bronski, not none of those guys can resuscitate a failed government. When Ellen took over Liberia, Liberia was a pariah. It was a complete failed state. We lost everything, infrastructure down the wire. We rooted it out. We sold the country, anything that we could get our hand on. We sold it to the Nigerian, we sold it to the Guinean. We sold everything in that country. That's what made it difficult for us to recover. And now what we want to do again. Some people are deliberately sabotaging this government because they believe that it will prepare them to be in power. But it's a good thing. It's a good political strategy. Who am I to say don't do it? But you got to be mindful to what extent you want it to crumble. Because if the country crumble and fail, we will not be able to resuscitate it. Our brothers and sisters back home that cannot afford, you will still be up here enjoying, but the effect will be felt by your relative back home. So you in the diaspora, have an open mind. Be very clear on what you want. Do not just go around supporting things because you want to support it. Ask the question, read things. It's easier to just be in a group and shouting. You said sedition shout Munya, you shout the Munya the loudest. You are very intolerant, you are very impatient, and you expect miracle in Liberia. But I wait for some of you heartbreak. Reality will sink in soon. The Fadiga brothers have no intention of changing. I have no intention of joining hateful people. For some of you that know me over the years, I'm still the same person. For some of you that I call my friends, you are still my friend. I don't discuss politics with some of my friends because politics can, for some people that are very intolerant, politics can pick up friendship. But I do not have many friends. I'm a loner, so I don't miss much. I just glad that at this point in life,
I thought we were friends.
I really better. Well, we are friends when we talk politics.
All right.
But thank you, Dennis, for so much for affording us the opportunity. We will stay around. We're not going anywhere. We are for some of you that have not seen me having my show, I will have my show. I just got some other priority right now. We'll come back. We'll keep talking. I'll be the referee. I will be the referee. We will put the government on the spotlight, where commend the government where they do right. Look, let me tell you something. When you're in the street, you do not see nothing good in the other person.
You were concluding. Oh.
Yeah, you do not see nothing good on the other side. It's sad. But let me leave you, my brother.
Because I don't want to because you had to go to work. So I want to get.
Let me leave you. Thank you so much.
I want to bring Hassan in, but before Hassan, you come in, I have my last this one are true. Last caller who's going to talk for just 15 seconds.
Give me just a minute.
All right. 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Your name first.
My name is Dr. Kula, calling from Atlanta.
Dr. Badon Kula, your question or comment?
I'm making a comment, and Dennis, I want you guys to maintain the sanctity of your forum.
Okay.
Now, the reason I decided to come in is because Hassan Fadiga and his brother, yes, when they initially went to Hong Kong to do that Evil Mouth thing, everybody hailed them. But then they were all over Facebook saying they were going to Liberia for the protest, the June 7th protest. The next thing we saw them in Senegal on the beach relaxing, and they never made it to the protest, and their voices changed all of a sudden. And I asked them one question: why would you put out this propaganda that you were going to Liberia only to be in Senegal? And this guy came after me personally and started attacking me, and that goes to show that Liberian people will never face the issues. Don't let these guys fool you. They have been doing this thing for a long time, going between Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Ure, and Wea, always trying to position themselves as politically relevant people who can change the narrative. They're trying to change the narrative. Okay?
All right.
Instead of facing the fact that Wea has squandered a huge political capital, they want to go after the opposition and say the opposition is a problem, or the CDC people are not patient, or Elliot squandered $16 billion. There's a difference between having actual $16 billion to come into a country and having what they call direct foreign investment. Go define what direct foreign investment is and what it means.
I give 20 instances of where finances were misappropriated.
All right.
You're talking nothing.
You're talking stackle. You're not talking.
Okay, Dr. Kula.
Put them on the spot.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Kula.
Offer me. I rather thought was so.
The only thing Badu get an offer is to spew the same backyard gossip.
But I don't got
a lot of people have been spewing about.
No, Hassan, just respond to that. You can give your closing statement.
No, Badu and I got a long history. I've been knowing the brother for long, so I know where he's coming from. It's one thing to ask a genuine question. It's another thing to impute on another main character. Though, if you cannot terrorize something that we're all asserting in the fact, we're all gathering your facts, and that the kind of thing Batu subscribe to. I clearly stated on your show why we did not go to Liberia.
Yeah, you said
if
that.
Batu was listening to the show, you would have understood why we didn't go to Liberia. But yet and still, Batu has a way of attacking other people and saying that we're set up, we took Brown and Vito, that's why we went to to Senegal. In fact, someone said we went to Senegal because the president of Senegal wanted to talk with us to dissuade us from participating in the protest. Those are some of the city things that people have been carrying around. So I don't really want to comment on Badron. Let's just end the show. I know where Badron is coming from, and I told him as we can have an honest and candid discussion if he address us with respect. But if you come and start to accuse me with all presenting facts, I would definitely let you have it. And that's the case between me and Batu. So I don't really want to address Batu. The show is over. The only thing I want to say, thanks for having us on the show. For the past more than 10 years, we have been involved in advocacy. When we are passionate about something, we always take the extreme side. For too long, we have been doing it. Whether it's with the Samuel Doe issue. I remember we had an argument with the Samuel Doe, and you know, the Crown people, they are very passionate about Doe. And I told my brother, we usually discuss on some of the things. I said, you know something? Way back, we had a heated argument with some member of the Crown community. It was so heated with even my dear friend Jason Jaru, Gilmore, and some other people. It was heated. We had changed something in. They called Doe the hero. We saw Doe as being a mass killer. There was no middle ground. We took the extreme side, but we did not even give the other side the chance to learn and understand where they were coming from. But we only took the side that we lost somebody with the hand of Doe Sawyer, and Samuel Doe people were involved in massacre. And we did not want to see where some of the Crown people were coming from. What are some of the things they endured during the war? How the people were slaughtered with something. So when you take the middle, I'm saying this to say that sometimes when you are an advocate and you take the middle road, you take the extreme road, you tend to see things through one lens. And that's what happened. And there was heated argument over the years. We started to do it. Over the years, we started to do it. And over the years, we started to hold mutual respect for each other. And I was able to understand. Sometimes it's good to come in the middle. When you're in the middle, it doesn't mean you are weak. It doesn't mean your opinion is shifting. It only means that you tend to see things through both lenses. And you tend to understand. Right now, I can sit and understand why sometimes the sedition gets so angry and insult my mom and insult me and say something. By staying in the middle, I was able to understand, even though I felt hurt for what they did, but I can understand why certain people are coming from at that time. When the opposition do something right now, I can say, I get it. I get why the opposition, they are behaving the way they are behaving. When you are in the middle, you tend to have a broad view of things, and you tend to look more for a solution to the situation than just following, and wanting to have the last word. And it would take the incident with the unfortunate incident with COP to bring us to that realization that the middle ground sometimes is the best approach, especially to Liberia. There's three kinds of Liberians. Most of the people in Liberia, there's no good side or bad side. The only thing in Liberia that you will find right now is a bunch of hypocrites. People that are not in position are waiting for the chance to come there. When they come there, they will do the same thing and will be fighting the other group. And it pains me that we be with the opposition and fighting for a common cause, but not everybody within the opposition have the same agenda, the same ideals that we are fighting for. And today or tomorrow, we fight job, we are pushing out, harassing government, probably kicking out early. This group will come there, and for some of us that continue to take the extreme view, like what we did to Eddie, we start to criticize the people again. So my brother and I decided to find or formulate a different strategy. This time around, we will criticize and come up with solutions. If we can find a group of Liberian professionals that can work with us, we'll bring a team together. If where the government need help, we'll be helping Liberia, we'll not be helping the government. Whether it's law enforcement, whether it's healthcare, whether it's mental health, we will find a solution to that problem. We're not leaving with the government. We prefer that idea to the government and try to help the government. At the same time, we criticize the government for them to perform the duty they were elected to perform. But we're going to no longer be on one side and be the one bashing on the George we are and forgetting. Unfortunately, some people will see our stands right now are weakening the opposition, but that's a stand we have chosen. That's a stand we'll continue to further. And I thank you for having me on your show. I thank you. There are some things that we couldn't go into detail because the time frame, but hopefully in the future we'll be able to touch it on it when you bring it back on your show again. But again, thanks for having us on your show.
Definitely. And one person who agreed with that position is my brother. He said, good job, guys. For now, on the surface, the Fadiga brothers seem fairly honest, patriotic, and realistic. So I want to thank you guys, too, for the time. We're surely definitely going to have you back. Liberia is the only country we have, and we should do our best to make it what we want it to be.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thanks, man.
We want to thank all of you for joining us. We want to appreciate our guests. We also want to thank all our audience from across the world. This is a beautiful, on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. We want to appreciate your time for watching. On behalf of my co-host, Danielle knuckles-guishard, my guest relations manager, Stephanie Setro, and all of us at Focus on Liberia, want to say thank you so much for being with us. Tomorrow, we're going to be back with a section on the millenniums, the Liberian millennials. So join us tomorrow at 6 p.m. for another edition of Focus on Liberia. Until then, my name is Dennis Jazz saying good night and God bless.